attitude of this game. We know that this is a game that we have to win. Our preparation going into the game has been the same as in the two previous games, and all we can do is prepare the team to play a very tough match, as all of these games are, and to make sure that we put in a level of performance that allows us to win the game.
We only drew the second game, didn't we?
Oh yeah, you lost the first one, sorry.
No, it's important for us. I think if you look at the performance from the second game in comparison to the first game, the performance was better. So we just need to look at the game, analyze it, go over it as a team, look at the things that went well, that were better, and things that we can still do better. And hopefully we can just keep growing and put on a good performance tomorrow.
The level of performance, I think the players, and I think most people appreciate that the level of performance in our game against Egypt was better than our level of performance in our first game with Cape Verde. So the players know what it will take to get a result. There are no easy games in this tournament, and we will come up against a Mozambique team also knowing that they have to win the game. So we have to be physically and mentally prepared for this, and the players know this.
Satish Shaper in Pars Magazine, Chris. No doubt you know the history of Ghana being the African team of the 1960s and having won the tournament 4 times. Does that put more pressure on you to perform here, or do you just see it as, well, I'm here now, this is what we have to do, and just carry on, or is that pressure actually helping you?
No, I think of the pressure that you go into every tournament with. I don't think it's a reflection of the past. There isn't anybody that's associated with the Black Stars that's not conscious of the trophies that we have won, and the dominance in the past that the team has shown in this competition. But this is a different year. There is always pressure. There's always pressure if you are a Black Stars head coach. There is always pressure if you are a Black Stars player. This comes with the game. But we have a group of players, as does every team, that go into pressurised games at club level, albeit to win the league, or to make sure they stay in the league, or to stay in a cup competition, to stay in a European competition. So levels of pressure, as head coach, you're used to, and also the players, and it comes with the job, and you have to accept it, and you have to welcome it.
Celui-là, celui-ci.
I'm Mustapha Black. I work with Joy FM in Ghana. My question goes to Dennis. I recall after the first game against Cape Verde, you did mention that you and your colleagues will need to be aggressive enough in your play. Based on your conversation with the rest of the boys, what is the mentality like approaching that game against Mozambique tomorrow?
I think after the first game, there were obviously some issues that need to be sorted, and I think if you look at the second game, that was already much better. I'm thinking like in the first game we had some issues with players being available between the lines, and I think in the second game we were more compact, so there was less space for Egypt to find the players in between the lines, and also if the lines are closer to one another, it's easier to press and you can be more aggressive. If the lines are far apart, then you always get caught up in between. So I think like off the ball against Mozambique, we'll need to do the same thing.
Non, celui-ci. No, but you know, it's
Thank you very much. My name is Atapupu from Ghana. This one goes to Chris. Since 2006, this is the Ghana team at the Afcon with the least of expectations in turn about winning a trophy. Has that played into your preparations in any way? And where from the pressure to succeed all of a sudden coming from?
I think I understand the question. I think there is always pressure going into this tournament because we are the Black Stars. I accept the first part of your question that potentially going into this tournament, the expectations maybe were not as high as in previous years. So this I accept. But for all of these questions and for any question that anybody asks about pressure now, we have to use that as motivation. And the players have to use that as motivation. And I would like to think that after the first performance, we always know there will be criticism if we don't get the results that we want. And I would like to think that the team used that in a positive way. And if the expectations are perhaps lower this tournament than they have been in previous tournaments, then exactly the same. We have to use this as motivation to make sure that we succeed in what our ambitions are.
Wait.
Coach, my name is Mohammed Awalulu. I work with KSBN FM from Kumasi. Coach, judging from the fact that the Black Stars have won the last two Afcons without a win, I remember the last Afcon, in our last game against Comoros, the Black Stars stumbled by losing by 3-2. So that it gets into your mind going to the last game that this is what happened to the Black Stars in the last Afcon. So the Black Stars will try as much as possible to avoid what happened some 2 years ago in Cameroon.
I think as regards what happened 2 years ago, some players here were, of course, involved in that, and some not. But what players get used to over a period of time, and remember, this is a huge world tournament. But players get used to in their careers bouncing back from defeats. Trying to improve their game and trying to put what was in the past in the past. Our concentrations have all been about looking forward, and I think if you are concentrating too much on what happened in the past in a particular game, then you can let it affect your preparation, your thinking going into this game. We just have to think of the last game and the improvement in the last game and reaching the same levels or the correct levels to win a football match. And we appreciate the past very much, but we can only think about what's in front of us now, and that will be a tough game tomorrow.
Ici en jaune. Un jaune, celui qui est en jaune. Voilà.
That we are still assessing him, but the signs are good. He will train today, and the signs are good that he will be fine. This was a situation in the game where we had to bring him off. He'd received a kick in training before that, and a consequence of that meant as he started to get into the latter part of the game, he was feeling it. As regards Richmond Lamptey, he's very much part of the squad, and the fact he's part of the squad, everybody has an opportunity. You know, we constantly talk about how difficult it is to pick a team, to pick a bench, and to leave players out. And this is the responsibility of myself and the technical staff. But Richmond has been a big part of our squad, as has everybody else. And that means that they all put themselves always into consideration to be involved.
You've been committing all these errors in our previous games?
Yeah, it's true that maybe, let's say, 3 of the 4 goals we conceded we could have avoided, but yeah, this is part of sports and football in general, and we don't blame any individuals. If we said in the dressing room as well, we win together, we lose together. I don't think it's due to the pressure, it's just sometimes at this level you make certain decisions, and if you make the wrong decision, then yeah, it can be fatal, and unfortunately for us it's been fatal on a few too many occasions. But I don't think this is creeping into people's heads. I think we need to learn from it, and then in the upcoming game try to avoid the smallest mistakes and maybe not take too much risk to avoid any unnecessary goals against them.
Merci.
Bonjour. Bonjour, ma question s'adresse à Denis. Après votre défaite, vous avez reçu la visite des anciennes gloires du football ghanéen à votre camp de base. Dites-nous, qu'est-ce que cette visite a apporté à vous et à vos camarades ces jours-ci, avant le match crucial face au Mozambique?
Oui.
Ok, bah oui, ils sont venus juste pour nous encourager. Ils ont dit qu'ils ont la confiance en nous et qu'on doit juste être fiers de représenter le Ghana. Et oui, il y a une certaine pression qui vient avec. Mais si tu veux jouer sans pression, il faut pas venir jouer pour le Ghana. Et ils voulaient juste montrer leur confiance en nous et juste nous encourager.
Derrière.
Of course, he scored the 2 goals, but we also have to take into account that we were also playing against a very, very good team, a team that would be one of the favourites to lift this trophy. I think a team that in the last time they won it, I think conceded 2 goals in the whole of this tournament. So it's about scoring goals wherever that comes from. And what we want is to be able to create more opportunities for the team as a whole. The goal before we scored, of course, was from a set play, from a corner, which is an area that we hadn't scored too many goals from. So it doesn't really matter where the goals come from. We prepare ourselves the exact same way going into this game as the last game and the last game. And if it means that one individual scores, if it means that we score from the free kick or a penalty, the most important thing is that we get the win that we need to give us an opportunity to still be in the competition.
Okay.